Yeah, okay.
Hi everyone, we have here carrots. We don't really have a big tubers just yet, but we've been harvesting several times from our lettuce. We also have some colored greens in here, different colored colors. There's yellow right there, there's red. There's tons of insect damage because this is all organic, no pesticides used. Let's try pulling in one carrot. Let's see if we have a really good tuber in here. A very tiny one. But like, if this is still edible, even the greens are edible. We are severely oversupplied with chives. It has gone to flower, it has gone to seeds, so we'll just put up seeds there and new chives will grow. And we have a red mountain spinach. One single stalk. We have tons of green spinach here that has bolted and has developed seeds as well. And we have a humongous rhubarb. Rhubarb. It's so big we cannot really eat it all, so I'm gonna grab a branch. This is used for jams, just the stalk though, because the leaves is not edible. It's really high in oxalic acid, which is poisonous when ingested in large amounts. And our rhubarb, we can use this for jams. We can even use this for the sinigang. We can use it to make the soup sour. And we have a big patch of a small patch of asparagus here. It has seeded. We have harvested like a bunch of spares from this early spring. And our tomatoes, it's in direct sun, so some of the fruits are blistered. And we have a really big haskap bush. This is a very productive bush, but then the magpies have been helping themselves with it, so we didn't really get a lot of production for us ourselves to eat. And this is our very precious Pembina plum. We have probably 2 fruits from this tree after 5 years. So yeah, last year we just bought a pollinator. It's a ground cherry. So as soon as we got that one, the next season we were able to pollinate like 2 plums, one for Ally and one for Xander. And we have the green beans in here. It's doing quite well. It's not really as well as I wanted it to do, but yeah, it's producing. There's a little bit of flowers here. And our zucchini here is not really doing as well as our zucchinis in the front yard. So this is our Pembina plum pollinator. This is our ground cherry, which also has some fruits. Look at that. Our ground cherry has fruits, or maybe just 1 fruit. And I just harvested the strawberries earlier, so what's left here in our plants is probably something that will be ready tomorrow. And we also have some sweet peas here. In a couple days we'll be able to harvest it. So we have sweet peas. So the thinner, very young pod, you can eat the entire thing. For something that's a little bit bigger than this, you then the outer shell is a little bit harder to eat, so you just have to eat the seeds. That is really nice and sweet. Then more green beans here. We have cherry tomatoes. So our cherry tomatoes, we didn't really have the chance to to kind of put like a support in it early on, so it's just sprawling on the ground, just sprawling, but it's producing really well. And we have our very prized Flavia tomato. So this tomato is supposed to be like rare, not really, but you cannot really find this in the stores. We got this from Ally's school in Illinois Cairns. And more chives. We are severely overproducing chives here. We have given away so many mounds, and we still have tons. And also right here we have a really thriving potato. And if you scratch a little bit on the surface, you can already see small pods in it. So in a few weeks we'll be harvesting potatoes. We have started harvesting the ones on the surface, and it's really good. You cannot compare it to the store ones. So we're walking towards the front yard. This area right here is our primal cane raspberries. It's not really producing very well. Probably the reason is it's not really getting enough sun in here. But surprisingly, same site, same sun exposure, we have our floricane raspberries. It's a Boyne raspberry. And it's actually producing well despite the very low sun exposure. So we've got tons of fruits already. I harvested twice already from this patch, and still there's more to come, like way more to come. And considering it's just a really small patch, there's a few ripe fruits that I have missed from earlier harvest right there. And this one too is perfectly ripe. Tons of fruits that's gonna ripen in the next few days. AllyXander likes to walk by and just have some snacks. Like they'll be snacking as they pass by this patch. Saw a few flowers, but then I can't see them anymore, so they probably didn't pollinate it very well and just dropped. But this cherry is in need of a pruning, maybe at the end of season. So the Edmonton water is really expensive and very highly chlorinated. So Andrew, my husband, have installed a rain barrel system where we collect rainwater and water our plants. It's healthier for the plants. There's no chlorine in it, so it's really making our soil microbes thrive very well to support our garden. So more potatoes right here. And if you scratch a little bit on the surface, you can see the pods, tomato pods. Just scratching a little bit from the surface, and there's the pod already. Oh, shoot, I just scratched it a little bit. But that one is going to be a really good potato. So as I've said earlier, our zucchinis in the front yard are doing way better than the zucchinis that we have in the backyard, probably because of the sun exposure. In this area in our yard is the full sun, so like way more than full sun, probably over 12 hours of sun exposure in a day. See, we've got tons of zucchinis, tons and tons of zucchinis right here. We've got a few female flowers that still need pollination. Maybe tomorrow morning when a male flower opens up, I'll pollinate it so we can get a juicy, nicely pollinated zucchini for our grill. So there's tons of female flowers that's developing. You just have to make sure that's pollinated very well. So if we're not here, what helps with our pollination is that we have Veronica. We also have the gay feather that could attract insects. So as they attract insects, they can also help with the pollination of our zucchini. And then our very, very mighty Tiny Tim tomato. So it's a dwarf tomato. It's determinate. I have harvested a few ripe ones already early in the day, but still there's a lot of fruits ripening in the next few days here. So right here on the side of the yard, we have a bunch of felt planters. So these black planters are felt planters. There's still somewhat a circulation in it, and it allows for root pruning, because this one is kind of it lets air in and it also lets water out, so there's no overwatering, so it'll just drain out. And we have squash here. I don't think it's gonna make it, but it's still very young. There's a bigger plant right here, but it doesn't really have a lot of flowers in it. We have sweet potatoes. We have more squash, and we have the lemongrass here. This plant right here is thriving. The other one is not really doing very well. And more potatoes and other felt planters. We have more strawberries here. More strawberries, probably ripening in a couple days. We have tons of runners too, so I try to just kind of redirect them towards the soil, so it'll make baby strawberry plants. And our 4-in-1 apple tree. So this branch is probably the Norland apple. The branch that has most fruit is the September ruby apple. The branch that does not have anything in it is another Norland, and the Goodland has no fruit in it. Here we have the gooseberries. We have the gooseberry right here. It has a few fruits. This one is ripe, so I'm going to pick this one. This one is ripe. And this is a red currant. Red currant. I have harvested a few times from this little shrub, so it's probably at the end of its period for fruiting. Oh, and there's also tons of gooseberries that have fallen down to the ground. And in this little planter is a thriving sweet potato. So this is something that we just got from TNT.
Yeah.
So we got some stalks. We bought some leaves from TNT for our soups, and then we kept the stalks to root in water, and now there it is. It's thriving. And we have a little raspberry bush here in this part of the yard. It's a baby, yet it's already producing a little bit. And our very prized grapevine. This is a beta grape. This is a zone 2 to 4 grape. And it's actually producing really well, but I'm not sure if all of this these grapes will develop into something that will fully ripe. It's a very small vine for the fruit that it's producing. We actually reduced the flowers that develop in spring just to kind of let it make the fruits ripe. There's just way too much flowers and too little vine, but it still produces tons. And our allium has seeds. Look at that. This is like an onion, but it's more ornamental. It has very, very beautiful big ball of flower. So I'm just gonna let it seed right here. So next year we're gonna have a few alliums growing. It's not gonna flower in the first year though, probably in the second or third year, but it's worth it. The wait is worth it. All done. Thanks for watching.